Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a comparison of eyeshadow palettes. Many of you on my Instagram often ask me to do like a Colourpop guide of eyeshadow palettes since I have a ton of them. And so I thought today I will do the most requested ones. So I'll be comparing four eyeshadow palettes. First I will compare the Colourpop I Think I Love You with the Double Entendre palette. And then I will compare the Give It To Me Straight with the You Had Me at Hello palette. These palettes look a little bit similar when you first see them, but I'm here to swatch everything and let you guys know how similar or different are they. So let's go ahead and find out. Okay, let's get started. Jumping straight into the video, I have my palettes here. So first we will compare the I Think I Love You with the Double Entendre palette, and then we will go into these two, the You Had Me at Hello and Give It To Me Straight. If you can see, the Double Entendre and Give It To Me Straight one has very similar packaging, and here you can see that I Think I Love You and Double Entendre has the exact same packaging. If you keep the palette like this, you won't be able to tell. The only thing is that the shade names and the palette name is mentioned behind, and Double Entendre is also the same. These are the palettes look inside. This is Double Entendre, this is I Think I Love You. Double Entendre, I would say, is quite warm toned, leaning towards the warm toned palette. I have done a comparison of this with my Tarte palette. I think I have a video. I will link it in the cards if I find it. I definitely have a blog post if you want to check it out. So this one is very similar to the Tarte Tartlet Toasted palette, and this one, the I Think I Love You, you can see that it's like very neutral and almost leaning towards the very cool toned side, or maybe just one shade, which is this one, is a little bit warm. Other than that, mostly all of them are pretty cool tone. So I think the tone of both the palettes are very different. If you want to have both the palettes, I think you can, because there are not many shades which are like exactly the same, although some shades may be a little bit similar, but I think still the tone is pretty different. Now to go into a little bit more detail, the I Think I Love You palette has a lot of shimmers. So if you love shimmers, if you want shimmers like this, you can go for the I Think I Love You. And this one has a lot of mattes. So if you are someone who loves warm mattes, you don't have a lot of warm mattes in your collection, you are new to eyeshadow palettes, then I think this one will be much better because it has those nice warm mattes. If you have Indian skin tone, then these mattes look really nice on Indian skin tone. I think there are only 4 mattes in the I Think I Love You, if I'm not wrong. This one, this one, this one, and this one are the mattes. Rest all are shimmers, and the shimmers are actually really good quality. I'll show you the swatch comparison in a bit. And here you have mostly mattes. The mattes are this one, 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 and this one. And this one is also a matte, but it has some like shimmer in it. So I think only true shimmers are these 3 shimmers. So this is a matte heavy palette and this is a shimmer heavy palette. Any other specifics, if you want to know, you can just comment down below. Something which I would like to mention is that I Think I Love You has 1.15 grams of product, and this one has 0.085 grams of product per pan. So this one you will get a little bit more value for your money, little bit more product. That's about it. The shades are like this. If you are someone who wants to own both of them, I think you can. Now let me show you a swatch comparison of these two palettes. So these are all the matte shadows I swatched of both the palettes. The lower swatches are from the Double Entendre, obviously, because I mentioned that the number of mattes are more in Double Entendre, and the top one is I Think I Love You. So as you can see, there is probably just one shade which is somewhat similar between both the palettes as far as mattes are concerned, but most of the shades are different. Even though the shades are neutral, they are pretty different, and the looks which you are going to get from this palette, depending on your skin tone, may not be very deep from the Double Entendre. But here you have the mattes which are very, very neutral. These 2 shades which seem a little bit similar, but this one is more like creamier, this one is more vanilla or white, and this one has a nice black shade, and so it is more easier to create a more smoky look, a more defined deep look with this one. So probably for deeper skin tone, this palette may suit your skin tone a little bit better. The pigmentation in both the palettes are very similar. The quality and the shadow texture and everything is very similar. As you can see from the swatches also, the shadows are pigmented really well. I did not have to build up too much, but yes, if you're someone with my skin tone, you may have to build up some of the mattes. Okay, here are all the shimmers of the two palettes swatched. The top one is I Think I Love You. The shimmers in which are really versatile. If you're someone who loves shimmers, I will definitely recommend the I Think I Love You palette. And if you're not really a shimmer lover, you just need some shimmers. The shimmers in the Double Entendre are also really good. And these are like one swipe pigmentation. I did not have to do anything, no build up, nothing. They're amazing quality. So I think it just depends on you if you are a shimmer lover or a matte lover. Both the palettes are good. Both are very everyday friendly as well. It just depends on you which palette you would like. Even if you want to own both of them, I think you can. So that's my comparison of the first two palettes. Okay, let's move on to the next two palettes comparison. So first one is You Had Me at Hello palette, and the next one is Give It To Me Straight palette. These two palettes are like some of my favorite Colourpop palettes. I'm pretty sure they were not limited edition. Let me know if you guys think otherwise. These two definitely were not limited edition. The Double Entendre and I Think I Love You, they are not limited edition, but I'm not very sure about this one. So this is how the outer packaging looks like. You Had Me at Hello obviously is a very beautiful packaging. It's so pretty. This one I have already done a review on my blog. This is how You Had Me at Hello looks like. It has a mirror here as well. I will put this here so that I don't blind you guys. And this is how the Give It To Me Straight palette looks like. So the You Had Me at Hello palette, you can see straight away that it's a really like a mauvey, cool toned, more cool toned palette. The Give It To Me Straight palette on the other hand is more of a plummy palette. It has a lot of plum undertones and it has some warmth to it as well. When you create your eye looks, especially you have this orange, this brown, although this is quite neutral, but because of those warmer tones here and this one as well, the looks which you get is slightly leaning towards warm. So I think there is a little bit of difference between both these palettes. Shadow quantity is also different here. This one has 1.1 gram of product and this one has 0.85 grams. So somewhat similar to what we had in the previous comparison. In both of these palettes, the distribution of the mattes and the shimmers is pretty even. Like both have a good quantity of mattes and a good amount of shimmers. So here in this palette there are I think 1 2 3 4 5 6 mattes. So there's a nice balance over here, and this one also I think has 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so this one has 7, so 1 extra matte and 5 shimmers. Overall the quality of the palettes is also very similar. Some of the shadows here, especially some of the mattes, they are quite somewhat powdery. This one is less powdery than this one. This one is not that powdery. You might get some kickback in the pan itself, especially here as well. Some of these deeper mattes, I think only these two deeper mattes, there's a lot of fallout and kickback, but overall I think the fallout is not extremely that much. For both the palettes I would recommend you to do your eye makeup first because there may be fallout. That's the basic comparison of the palettes. Let me swatch out the shades, then you can see the difference a little bit more clearly. So here I have swatched out all the mattes of both the palettes. The bottom one is the Give It To Me Straight palette and the top one is You Had Me at Hello palette. As it's very evident from the swatches, I think only one shade which is quite similar in both the palettes, that's the deep brown shade. Other than that, there are not many similarities in the palette. The top one, which is the You Had Me at Hello palette, it has a lot of mauvey undertone. Even if the light brown shade, it has some plummy mauvey undertone, and there is a nice purple, kind of a mauvey purple kind of a shade. Many people do not like these kind of colors on their eyes, but I personally love such shades like mauvey tones, purpley tones on the eyes. And the Give It To Me Straight, as you can see, so there are some warmer tones definitely towards the start of the swatches, and then you have the plummy and pinky toned shadows, and then you have the brown. So I think the whole tone of the palette, although some of the shades may look similar here, but on the eyes they look pretty different. The Give It To Me Straight will give you a more berry toned eye look, and the You Had Me at Hello will give you more mauvey, taupey kind of eye looks. Now let me show you the swatches of the shimmer shadows. Okay, this is how the shimmers of the palettes compare. The bottom one is Give It To Me Straight palette. As you can see, more berry rosy tones, one maybe a rose gold kind of a shade. And the top one is You Had Me At Hello, which is more mauvey and taupey. I just love the shimmers which are there in the You Had Me At Hello palette. Very versatile. You get a nice muted gold as well. You might get a little bit scared of taupey colors, but personally I love having taupe shades on my eyelids. I really like how they look on my eyes. Okay, so here are the palettes one more time. Now I think you just have to make up your mind which palette you are more drawn to. Mauvey, taupey, purpley tones or berry pink tones. I feel like many people might like this one better, but yeah, I think it's all about personal choice. The looks which you get out of these palettes are a little bit different, so I think both the palettes are good. If you want to have both of them, you definitely can. That's it for today's video, guys. I really hope that it was helpful, and if you liked it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're watching me for the first time, I would love to have you here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching me today. I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye.